All right, so the second day of the 7 days has now been completed, just about to head into the third day here. First day just involves a little bit of marching. There's a limited number of units that can move, and there's lots of movement restrictions of what you can do on day one. Day two's wide open. Fortunately for the Confederacy, there was no rain, which allows for your best chance of maneuver. I decided to leave Jackson alone up here. His boys are pretty well blown from their earlier march, and I thought let's keep them fresh for a big push on day three. We'll try to march them as hard as we can on day three, get them closer to the rest of the Army. Instead, I used AP Hill to try to fix the Union positions in and around Mechanicsville. And in fact, they drove off the regiment that was holding Mechanicsville, didn't destroy it outright, but did inflict heavy one-sided casualties. So the Union Army's flank is now in the air. And so Morrill's division of 5th Corps marched to this particular location to kind of hinge the flank and protect the forces there just below Mechanicsville. And so it wasn't quite the Battle of Gaines Mill, but it was something like it. Longstreet marches around from behind the main line of Magruder, marched around, got into a good flanking position on Morrill, launched an assault with Lee present, and it was an effective assault, demoralized and routed Morrill's division, which is all the way back here. But in the process also blew out his army in terms of fatigue, and they also took a couple casualties themselves. So wasn't able to finish the job against the breastworks that had been set up there by the Union there. I think that's McCall's division here. Force 4 is under the command of McCall, and he's got some good artillery in there. And there's a creek that they're hiding behind. So despite getting AP Hill in position, I couldn't set up a good assault without over-fatiguing the troops. I had D.H. Hill set to exploit. I almost did an assault, but when I ran the numbers, even with the flanking situation that was in place, the modifiers it was going to be a 50-50 shot. I didn't feel like that was a wise thing to do. Let's wait until the morning when Longstreet will have recovered and Longstreet can hit again, and maybe we'll get a grand assault with Lee present and just really clobber McCall's division and finish up this work on the Union flank. Once this force has been dealt with, the other one's going to have to get out of there or be destroyed. And that opens up a lot of room for maneuver to get around and start getting at the real goal, which is these wagons in the rear of the Union Army. That sounded like a great plan, but as frustrating as the original 7 days must have been for Lee, the weather proves rainy on the third day. So I just rolled up the random event for day 3, and it's rain, which is going to really help the Union because it's going to slow down the Confederacy. It's going to slow down everybody, but it's going to make it easier for the Union to perhaps restore the guys that were badly wounded on day 2 and be ready to fight on day 4. So it's also going to make it harder for Jackson to get his men into position. So the Union flank is still in the air, and McClellan's going to have a big decision to make. He's got, I think this is Keyes Corps is positioned here. Strong forces trying to shore up the right flank of the Army, but McCall's division is still in serious trouble here with one proviso. All of these guys were able to dig in. So Confederate and Union alike on day 2 was able to complete their entrenchment. So they've gone from breastworks to forts. So they're, that much more tough to dig out. Having said that, Lee's already got a very strong flanking attack position on McCall. So McClellan's got a position from which he could perhaps make a counter move, but it's hard for him to do grand assaults. It's not a guaranteed thing with him. And Lee has actually a superiority of artillery in that particular hex. So trying to get the artillery reserve up to Keyes Corps, and McClellan, I just pre-positioned him in the off chance that we'll be able to fight a major engagement here on the 1st of July. So we'll have to see. weather should be clearing up. July makes it less likely for rain than June. So we're hoping, as the Confederacy, hoping that the weather dries up. As the Union, we're fine with this, still in a winning position despite taking some lumps here on the second day of the battle. So again, not quite Gaines Mill, but it sure felt kind of like it. Nobody's quite showing up where they're supposed to show up on time to do the coordinated assault that really needs to be used to pry the Union out of their positions and in order to make the most of this exposed flank here. So we'll see what happens and see what day 3 brings. We'll do our next video. Stay tuned for more. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos. And we'll let you know about other games that we're playing. And if this is something you enjoy, we do appreciate your subscriptions. Take care. Y'all have a wonderful day. We'll see you back here next time.